ego comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good morning. Good morning. Hey, I mentioned me in a post. Thanks. Why does it tell you that you mentioned you in a post? There's just no point. Good morning, Leisure, and fuck yeah, Friday. I'll work, so I don't give a fuck. I work, but Sunday and Friday are the same day to me. So I guess I do kind of get the weekend off a little bit because all the people that I work with in the community are not at work. They're not at work. But yes, good morning. I'm still sharing. I'm a little behind here. It's all right. So I was looking at my podcast, and you would think that Colorado would be my number one state, but it's not. Delaware is, and they're kicking everybody's ass. Let me go look at this. Delaware is 69%, Colorado 9.3. Now these are just stats from these are this month's stats, because for some reason my podcast is taking off. Yesterday there was another 100 and something downloads, 160 downloads, which is just wow. That's a lot for me. That's a lot for me, considering I do no promoting. That's all. That's word of mouth shit, right? And out of billions of people in the world and millions of alcoholics, yeah, you only touch a fraction. You only touch a fraction of what's going on out there. Before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about why we alcoholics tend to be so lonely. As soon as I find my phone, oh, I can't use it because I'm using it for Instagram. So we are not going to talk about that this morning. It has to do with abandonment. It's why we're so damn lonely. You still have a fear of abandonment, most likely. Yeah, I do. We alcoholics are the most abandoned people in the world. Most abandoned people in the world. Even from the time that we're little, we're hard to deal with. And yeah. So there's a lot of things that go to abandonment. You ever have somebody leave, you didn't think that they were going to come back? Yeah, that's abandonment. What do you see dogs go through it? Where it's like, what do they call it? Short term, whatever it is. Okay. But sometimes you can feel that way. Yeah. See, even though my parents were doing what was probably right at the time, and they put me in and they did. I went into Molinari Psychiatric Center, and I wouldn't go back home. Yeah, you bet I felt abandoned. But at that point, yeah, and I can't put that on my parents anymore. I'm 54 now. Okay, so I have to work with those things. I do not deal with my mental health. I work with my mental health. It's much different. Okay? It's the difference between trying to fight upstream or going with the flow. That's the difference. So, all right, it was cool, but now it's getting a little too warm. But I'm gonna have to do my Mr. Rogers move. So, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm changing clothes. I just don't like people seeing me in the same shirt twice, even if it was only worn for 5 minutes. So we're going to talk about an open mind, and we're going to be in the 12 by 12. We'll be in the 12 by 12 a little bit. Let's do this. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm going to blank out on a Friday. No. If you're here, please say hello. Whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. Broncos tore through them last night. That was kind of nice, but that's not what we're here for. So we're gonna talk about an open mind. All right. Well, if people aren't awake, they're at work. That's what I bet that's what it is. Nobody's up. All right. So October 18th, we're going here because it was not step 10. An open mind. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith. Now, not being open-minded, but an open mind. Okay? Kind of a different topic. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 33. Now, you know me, 33 is only 2 paragraphs, so we're going to go back. We're going to go back. I'm going to go back just a little. I am going to go back to page 31. And here's why. As psychiatrists have often observed, defiance is the outstanding characteristic of many alcoholics. We call that denial. Denial. Defiance and denial are the same darn thing for me. I'm being defiant. If I'm being defiant, I'm denying what's going on. I did this with my PTSD. My wife, my therapist, both are sitting there going, Dion, have you considered that you have PTSD? Have you considered you have PTSD? I'm like, okay, let's go for the diagnosis. They're like, you're right, Dion, you didn't have PTSD. You have CPTSD, which means complex. It means complex. And my denial, good morning, Amber, good to see you. My denial was I was not in the military, and it is unfair to compare me to those that went out there and protected our country. I love our anybody in the military has my respect. It's just something I do. They wouldn't let me in the military. I got it turned down. Psychological. Good thing too. Good thing. I don't think I would have survived in that environment. I'm sure I would have left with a dishonorable discharge. So it's not strange that lots of us have had our day defying God himself. Sometimes it's because God has not delivered us the good things of life which we specified, as a greedy child makes an impossible list for Santa Claus. More often, though, we had met up with some major calamity, and our way of thinking was lost out because God deserted us. Yeah, until we figure it out, huh? Man. Footprints in the sand, my friends. Footprints in the sand. If you're not familiar with that poem, because right now I'm kind of going through a phase where I'm talking about things and people are going, huh? I have to remember that not everybody knows everything that you know, that they might be naive to that. So I'm not mansplaining, but essentially it's a poem about this person who said, hey, God, I was going through shit in my life, and I noticed that when I was going through the hard things in my life, there's only one set of footprints in the sand instead of two. And he's like, yeah, that's what I was carrying, you dumbass. I'm going to put this in my version. That's what I was carrying, you dumbass. I wear size 11. You wear size 7. Did you not notice this? I was like, I'm full of this. Okay. God, the girl we wanted to marry had other notions. We prayed God that she'd change her mind, but she didn't. We prayed for healthy children and were presented with sick ones or none at all. We prayed for promotions at business and none came. Loved ones upon whom we hardly depended were taken from us by so-called acts of God. Then we became drunkards and God stopped that. But nothing, and asked God to stop that, but nothing happened. This was the unkindest cut of all. Damn this faith business, we said. Sorry. When I was drinking, I didn't. The only time I prayed was when I was in trouble. God, get me out of this. It was the only time. I didn't pray for any of this because I knew it wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't going to happen. I wouldn't even fucking bother to try. Which was weird because, I dated a lot of people, a lot of women. When I say people, you might think that I swing both ways. I don't. But I also give a fuck if you think I do. So I've been called gay a lot in my life. So it's like making fun of my penis size. It's a very old joke. It's like saying P on D on it. Nobody really says that anymore. But yeah, a lot of us go through this. Hey God, was it really that we wanted to drink? I know for me, I didn't want to drink like normal people. That wasn't the goal. I wanted to fit in. And that's really what I find that's really the cause. I just wanted to fit in. I didn't want to be singled out for being weird or crazy or any of these things anymore. It was tiring. And by the time I got to 14 and I was told I was an alcoholic, yeah, it was the unkindest cut of all. It pissed me off. I'm like, I'm 13. I'm 13 years old, and it's only been 2 years since I stopped wetting my bed. I was a bedwetter till I was 11, and yeah, yeah. So I didn't have many friends. I didn't do sleepovers, and I didn't invite people to sleep over, or they would know that I wet the bed. And when you're growing up and kids, and yeah, yeah. That's why I get pretty angry when people are like, "Yeah, you need to start making money." I'm like, "You don't understand, and you just need to get the fuck out of my business." And it happens more than you know. And people are trying to be so nice about it. What is it? What is it about my money that people are so fucking concerned about? I don't get it. I'll worry about your fucking money. Why are your hands in my pocket? There's got to be, if money comes up, I'm wondering what you want. I am. There's something else in there. I know there is. I'm smarter than that. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. When we encountered AA, the fallacy of our defiance was revealed. And the fallacy means it didn't exist. The fallacy means at no time had we asked God what His will was for us. Instead, we have been telling Him what it ought to be. No man we saw could believe in God and defy Him too. Belief means reliance, not defiance. And this is where we hit the first paradox of the program in the first step. Or in this, actually in step 2, I apologize, where we find that total dependence upon, that the way to total independence is total dependence upon a higher power. And it's true. It's the first paradox that we meet. It's not a paradox. We're alcoholics. We have the cart before the horse. That's why it's a paradox to us. Okay? We were born mentally and physically different from our fellows. Assistant can't. Why would assistant? Did I say something that would be close to, I can't say it because it'll just start. All right. In AA, we saw the fruits of this belief. Men and women spared from alcohol's final catastrophe. We saw them meet and transcend their other pains and trials. We saw them calmly accept impossible situations, seeking neither to run nor to recriminate. This is not It's not easy stuff for anyone. I don't care if you're alcoholic or not. This is not easy. To calmly accept impossible situations, we do this all the time. We do it all the time. If you're sponsoring, you do it all the time. Because to other people, that is an impossible situation. It's impossible. Remember when you came in and it seemed impossible? And now here you are going, oh, fuck. I was wrong about everything. Yay. Yay, I'm wrong. Yay, I'm wrong. Because we realize that even though we're wrong, we're still going to make it right. How can we know what's right if we don't know what's right? We alcoholics are that way. Some people just need the right answer. Not we alcoholics. We have to experience the wrong so we get it right, right? We're either going to do that or we're going to take the experience of others. So those are going to kind of be our choices there. We saw them meet. We soon concluded, okay, this was not only faith. Yeah, not is faith in action is what it is. It was faith that worked under all conditions. All conditions. See, there is something that I find very important, that if you do God's work, he will keep you unharmed. Okay. Now, for a person who has been harmed a lot, for me, I have to have total reliance upon God or I'm fucked. The consequences of not doing that are swift. They're swift and dire. And I've experienced that too. For 15 fucking years, I experienced swift and dire. It's a level of hell that it seems fun at first. No, but it's not. It's a band-aid, you know. I mean, what really is alcohol? It was the solution to filling up that big fucking hole in my stomach. Get rid of alcohol, but the thing is that hole got bigger and bigger and bigger, and after a while, the alcohol didn't even work, and then I was just a miserable fucking drunk. Yeah, that's the torture. You don't get, when you have a head full of AA and a belly full of booze, there is no peace. There's no peace. Now let's take the guy full of faith, but still reeking of alcohol. He believes he's devout. His religious observance is scrupulous. He's sure he still believes in God, but suspects that God doesn't believe in him. Okay, this is just a reverse of what we've been talking about. Okay. Now I say this often, and maybe I ought to pick a different word, but for us it stands true. Okay, we alcoholics either think we're the shit or a piece of shit. Now a lot of times you're gonna be like, no, we're in the middle. No, neither one. God don't make shit. Whether it's good or bad, he don't make it. Right? So you're neither. You'll never be either. You never have been. Okay? You're a child of God. That's what you are. And that's all that you are. And there should be nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't need more than that. Everything else is bliss. Everything else is extra. In the program we call them dividends. Okay? And after you've been in the program for a while, and if you rarely we've seen a person who has failed, who thoroughly followed our path, right? That's the condition. There are conditions. You bet your ass there are. You have a debt to pay. You owe. You know it. And once you realize that, throw some character building and humility in there, your life's going to be fucking good. You'll have a good life. Will it be happy all the time? No. But it will be good. He takes pledges and more pledges. Following each, he not only drinks again, but acts worse than the last time. Now, the religious part is not me, but every time I tried to quit, it got worse. Okay. If I told my wife, hey, okay, I've had enough, I can't do this anymore, the obsession got worse. As soon as I made my commitment, because inside I knew I couldn't do it. I knew it. But I would make these promises, knowing I was going to fail. Inside, deep inside, I knew. And I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. I'd stand up, even like, Dion, don't do this, don't do this. But outside, I'm fucking whistling, walking to the stupid fucking liquor store again. It's horrible. Valiantly, he tries to fight alcohol, imploring God, but the help doesn't come. What in the fuck can the matter be? All right. What then can be the matter? To clergymen, doctors, and families, the alcoholic who means well and tries hard is a heartbreaking riddle. To most AAs, he is not, though. But I can see why it looks that way, and it is heartbreaking. Okay? No, don't close me. On my phone now, if I'm on YouTube, even if I turn it, if it's pinned to my home screen, it still plays. You can now pin things to your home screen and they can still play even though your phone has been, even though you hit the button to turn off, right? It's weird. Okay. What that is more convenience. And I don't want it. I'll take the 2 extra steps. Thank you. Thank you. It's like I have a Pandora account, right? Music. I've had it for over 20 years. And I still won't purchase it. It's like I got YouTube and everything else, but Pandora I won't. For some reason, I just don't care about the commercials. So, yeah, agreed, Amber. I'm glad to be out of that insanity. Yeah, I am. You know, a year ago, I wasn't. I wasn't. My daughter wasn't even talking to me. Today, she's dropping them off a little bit earlier, and we're going to sit down and hang out. We're going to talk about what we're doing with TikTok, and yeah, wow, because of this, because of this program. Yeah, see, I bet it's funny because my family does this. Well, what's your email? Because my phone number changed a lot when I was drinking. I'm like, I got the same email. It's always the same email. Okay, it's dionmiller@live.com. I've had it for 25 fucking years. I don't know what your problem is. That's right. Now I like it because, and mine's Dion Miller. I got my name, okay, because those lives went fast. Live is one of my favorite bands too, so it works out real well for me. Works out real well. All right. I'm gonna let you know now, Instagram. If we don't start getting more people here, I'm trying. I won't do it. I'm here to help people. Mostly, I'm here for leisure. You gotta hang out, or let me know when a good time is for you. So I'm just trying to work things out, figure it out. I'm not trying to tell anybody anything. All right. To most AAs, he's not. There are too many of us who have been just like him and have found the riddle's answer. It's hard. Yeah. Like Amber Mine is also. I'm not going to tell you guys your last name either. Sorry. I know it. I'm not. I say, actually, do I? I might be mixing it up with something else. I don't know. All right. This answer has to do with the quality of faith rather than its quantity. Now let's take this back to a day at a time because that's how we live, right? Now, do we want quality or quantity? Do we want quality or quantity? These are the choices. The other day I put out, do you want to be popular or do you want to be in recovery? Those are your options. If people are like, well, you could be popular in recovery. I'm like, you are not understanding what I'm saying. And I know because you've never been popular. So how would you know? I've never been popular either. The point was, the devil's going to give you shiny shit. Yeah, that's why I'm not. I see him in my head. What is this? Ad-free true crime? Fuck you, Amazon. You know, I was watching the game last night, right? Prime. And even in the commercials, I can press X on my controller because I watch on PS5 and it'll order it for me right from my TV screen. What an invasion of fucking privacy. They had their little swoosh between the scores. They had it up there. Man, wow. Okay. I felt. So I've got a suggestion for you because I hate commercials and they drive me crazy. So what I do now, what I've been doing like for like the last, if I'm required to have to watch the commercials, I mute it and I make up the words to what they're saying. I'm finding myself pretty amused. It's made it a lot. It's made football even more fun. So if you're with a group of people and you're tired of the commercials, mute it and get everybody to pick a part and just do the words, and it'll be a lot of fun. Anyway, okay. This had been our blind spot. We suppose we had humility when we really hadn't. Well, I might think I have humility, and that's the problem with alcoholics. We think we got it. Oh, I got it. 3 words that you don't want to say in an AA meeting. You say, I got it, and people are going to fucking pounce your ass. Even if it was a mistake, they don't care. Oh, no. Oh, you ain't got this because they're waiting for you to say that. They're waiting for somebody to say that so they can pounce, just so you know. These are our reactive people, and they're two-stepping or they're trying to find their way at the moment. So be patient and tolerant with these people. Right? Doesn't matter how much time they have. Maybe they got triggered this morning. Maybe they lost their dog. We never know, right? All right. We suppose we have been serious about religious practices when, upon honest appraisal, we found we have been only superficial. Or, going to the other extreme, we had wallowed in the emotionalism and had mistaken it for true religious feelings. In both cases, we have been asking something for nothing. Now, I didn't go through a lot of this. I didn't. I didn't have a problem with God. I knew it was me fucking up. I knew it was me. I was taught that at a very young age. I knew it when I was 17. I knew it when I was 18. I knew it when I was 45. I got sober again. I knew the whole time I was drinking. But the denial is so deep that it will override it. It just fucking overrides it. The real thing is the connection to God and standing in the sunlight of the Spirit and making sure your ass stays there. I am the only person that can block the Spirit from me. I'm the only person that can do that. Nobody else can do that to me. I can allow it to happen. There might be times where I'm naive and didn't ask the right question. I might get led down the wrong path. That's happened. You bet. But the things that I work on, I got fooled for the first year. Yes, I did. I'm like, we're doing great. We're doing, and then I started seeing things, and right. Dion knows, but all the knowledge won't do shit. That's right. It won't do you any good. I knew what you meant. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Not quite understanding that, but I'm not quite awake yet either. Oh, because Dion knows all. Well, I do know all this stuff though, and I did know all this stuff, but it doesn't mean anything. Uh, if you can't put it into action, you know, right? Knowledge without action is just inaction. So you are absolutely right. In both cases, we have been asking for something for nothing. The fact was, we really hadn't cleaned house so that the grace of God could enter us and expel the obsession. In no deep or meaningful sense had we ever taken stock of ourselves, made amends to those we had harmed, or freely given to any human being without any demand for reward. We had not even prayed rightly. We'd always said, "Grant me my wishes instead of thy will be done." The love of God and man we understood not at all. Therefore we remained self-deceived and so incapable of receiving enough grace to restore us to sanity. See, it's me. So that third step where we're going to make a decision, There's no action. But if we say, yo, God, I need you to take it all. I need you to take it all, at least temporarily, so that I can sift through this bullshit, get down to causes and conditions. What's the other reason? Because I'm going to need to be fearless. Fearless. Your sponsor will help you be thorough. But your sponsor cannot provide you with courage. Maybe their actions could, but your sponsor in and of himself doesn't provide the courage. That is another inner resource that you already have. We just never utilized it. We didn't know it was there. And now God's going to be like, oh, you remember that courage you were missing out on? See, I'm going to take all the shit that was blocking you from your courage, and we're going to put the courage back. And that's what God does for us. Few indeed are practicing alcoholics who have any idea how rational they are, or seeing their rationality can bear to face it. Some will be willing to term themselves problem drinkers, but cannot endure the suggestion that they are in fact mentally ill. There we are. See, I consider alcoholism a mental illness. Because it is. CBT works. CBT with God works. It works. It's cognitive behavioral therapy. We've been doing it for hundreds and hundreds of years. What is that? One person talking to another person to reframe the mind. A different set of morals, a different set of values. I'm describing AA. Yeah. Okay. Do we deal with problem drinkers? Sure we do. Do we deal with the sober curious? Yes, we do. There are people in AA that are not alcoholic but are required to be there because they were mandated by the courts. Happens all the time. Yeah. A lot of those cameras that are off in Zoom meetings, you don't know that they're actually alcoholic. We can assume that. I assume it, right? Because they're there, right? So I guess maybe I should presume it. Presuming is a lot better than assuming. It's pretty much the same thing. It just sounds better. Presuming means you're asking. Assuming means you didn't ask and you just thought it all by yourself. That's the difference between those two. So when you talk to somebody, if you're asking, you're not assuming, you're presuming. So they are embedded in this blindness by a world which does not understand the difference between sane drinking and alcoholism. Sanity is defined as soundness of mind. Yet no alcoholic sober analyzing his destructive behavior, whether destruction fell on the dining room furniture or his own moral fiber, can claim soundness of mind for himself. Therefore, step 2 is the rallying point for all of us. Yeah. See, this is where you're going to start to find your higher power, a power of your understanding. And it does not need to be a Christian or a religious God. It does not need to be that. No. Whether atheist, agnostic, a former believer, we can stand together on this step. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith, and every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him or them. We'll go with them. I'll do a little appeasing today. And we'll do the reading from here. My alcoholic thinking led me to believe that I could control my drinking, but I couldn't. Never tried. And I know I say that, but it's, like Amber, you're probably one of the first people I've met that also said, I never tried. I tried to fit in. And, so it was one of the things that you said that kind of connected me with you. But I don't hear many people say I never ever tried to control my drinking. And then I kind of felt set apart for that, right? But I think there's little things for everybody where we feel a little set apart. So what I can't do is turn those things into like me being terminally unique, because I'm not. Okay. I realized when I came to AA, I realized that God was speaking to me through my group. My mind was open just enough to know that I needed His help. A real honest acceptance of AA took more time, but with it came humility. Yeah. See, that's why we suggest 90 and 90. We know it sounds overwhelming in the beginning. What, a meeting a day? But then we're going to teach you how to live a day at a time. And that 90 and 90, after a while, after about a week and a half, you're not really thinking about that 90 and 90. Now you're like, oh, I got a week and a half. Okay. And at this point, we got you. We've got you. Unless something happens to disrupt it right then and there. But usually we have you at this point. Might be some change that's going to happen. Then you hit that 30-day mark, and probably within there, you're going to get a good night's sleep. And that's going to help. But it may take a little time to trust what's going on in AA. Sure. I mean, heck, when I got here, I was in survival mode. I didn't trust anybody. I sure the heck didn't trust me. But I knew enough, at least at that point, that I could see it still happening in other people. And that I knew was correct. I knew that was true because I had been there before. And then I wanted it again. And then I learned how to love myself. And then I was able to do the program. A real honest took more time, but with it came humility. I know how insane I was, and I'm extremely grateful to have my sanity restored to me and to be a sober alcoholic. The new sober me is a much better person than I could ever have been without AA. So true, so true. All right, that's gonna be it for this one. Oh, good stretches. Oh, so my wrist is feeling a lot better. I haven't, of course, I'm not doing anything about it, but I sprained my finger, and now I still can't get the shit done that I've been wanting to get done. It's a lot of cleaning, and I can't do it because ouch. All right. Love you. Peace out.